All right, toy fans. So here we go. We are looking at another quick review. Now, this was a Amazon pickup. Now, I did this live on TikTok, so I've already looked at this. I built it. I did it on live, and I came across a ton of things that we really need to discuss about this set. Now, this set, I believe it goes by Semky, so Semky on Amazon, but the actual company is a Forange or Forange Block. It's called the Pet Bookstore. So you were to type in Pet Bookstore building blocks, it show up there. I believe I have this on my link tree. I'll try to link that over there. So if you do decide to get this, maybe I can get some kickback commission. It's not a lot, but it's things that help the channel. So when you get your set, this is what you get. Now you're going to get a basically a brown box. It almost reminds me of the pick a brick boxes, like some of the old ones with like the brick printing on it, but a lot smaller. But this is a basically a box that's got a sleeve on it. Now this sleeve, here's the interesting thing. Besides for the number of pieces and the age and the name under here, everything else is in Chinese. Absolutely everything else. This has a sticker over it for Amazon purposes. This says Dream Cottage, but we know it's not a Dream Cottage. It's actually a pet bookstore. And of course, it doesn't tell you until we get to. I'll show you that where we get the pet bookstore aspect of it. Back here, you've got this. Is I guess you could type right in whatever. You finally get a picture of the actual toy. So this is I guess, an inspired image of it, but this is the actual toy. Now, this toy does it is a it's supposed to be a larger scale, more for friends, but it does scale to basic minifigs, and actually, it looks pretty good scaled to basic minifigs. But there are some things for me personally, for my city. There's quite a bit of things I will be changing on this, and I'll discuss it as we get into this. But we'll get a picture here. Scale wise, it does scale up to Lego minifigs or scale down to Lego minifigs. It actually works fairly well, though it feels like it's a friend size. All this Chinese, everything Chinese. It does not give you too much else. Now, if you slide this off, of course, you've got your box here. It says Dream Cottage. You got a bunch of bricks on it. And then you open it up, and there's nothing but like bags, things like that inside. One thing that I did enjoy about this build was that there are two chapters in the book, and of the two chapters, everything in bag one is bagged together. Everything in bag two is bagged together. And this is our booklet. Now, again, you got the toy on the back, got a picture of what it's inspired by on front. For the most part, like build wise, not too bad. There's some questionable methods in there that they're not illegal brick builds, but they're also not very supported. And there's some aspects in there that it's like I'd love to talk about and get set. Now, all in all, the bricks hold up pretty well. Surprisingly, I didn't have any loose bricks or anything that felt like it just kept falling off. The bricks are fairly tight. Some of the tightness also can kind of come into question because you're not sure you're getting a good fit. You might get a tight fit, but a tight fit is not a good fit. Now, like I said, there's lots of things in here that should and ought to be changed. Um, I know we didn't come here for the book, though. Come on, like we came here for the toy. Let's move over to our camera and let's take a look at the actual toy. Now, this is the actual toy. Now, I'm gonna tilt that down just a little bit. We do get a whole slew of extra parts here. This is the toy itself. We got four printed pieces. We have a printed schedule there for. Let me tilt it down just a little bit more. We got a printed schedule of hours, and it's got like a really light dog print on there. If I can kind of get that up there, I don't know. You know what? Let me see if I can get that on. See if I can get that on this camera. Let's see if I can get a better shot of that. So you've got the printed tile there that has a schedule of hours. Oh goodness, looky there. We got the post tile there. We got a pet store tile here. And then we also have a tile up top that's got a sleeping cat on a book. And I will go ahead and tell you, it is hard to read. It's white print on basically lilac printed, not lilac, but it's like pink. It's really hard to read. Now, in order for us to, let me get that back over here. In order for us to get in there and play, there's a peggable area here that opens up. Now, the door does open up. It clears for minifigs. And inside, you got quite a bit of stuff there. Now, the light is one light right here on the front. And it lights everything up pretty good. Honestly, for my Lego City, I'm not going to keep that light. I'll end up using a different light. But we've got some pretty cool stuff. We do have a opening container here. We got 1, 2, 3 cats, and they're all the same exact cat. There's no difference in cats. There's some build techniques of how they put like the stool together is pretty good. How they put some of the plants together, I really like some of the potted plants. How they put the shelves together is actually pretty cool. But then we got random things. These are supposed to be books. Prime opportunity to get us printed books, or at least something printed on the cover. We didn't get it. Also comes with this rather questionable ladder here. Now, this is supposed to be a service ladder for people to get up, get down, and do their books, etc. But honestly, like, if we put a minifig in there we go. Take our Farmer Joe. He's a standard minifig. He is able to reach pretty much everything on the shelves. There's no reason for him to have a ladder, not even to get up there. I mean, maybe up there. That's it. This table, I took one of the studs out of each of the legs, so it's not so high, so it's good height. But then it's up on this platform. Because it's up on this platform, well, it seems a little bit tall. Cats are friend level cats, so they're a little big. That's something to keep in mind. I mean, these are all like little features and play features and things that, that make sense. We've got over here, they gave us the way that they built these windows. Let's let me put, he doesn't actually come with the minifig, or the minifig doesn't come with it. Let's close this down. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Things I like. Overall, the look of this is amazing. It'll fit really well into a city. Easily. There's parts of it that I would almost scoot this over so I could have more room out here. Module the other side. But I mean, either way, like it works fairly well. Like I could plug this into, if I was to Mills plate this and plug it into anything, it would look perfect. These hold up really well. Everything works fairly well. Now, bad things, the way these windows are put together, they're not very strong. And we get some really kind of weird design. We got clear and then some window sills and then clear over here. We've got a tile over here that is not a poster. It's really nothing, but this whole thing is just windowed open for I don't know what reason. We get some plants back here that are just kind of like, I don't really need it. These are all tiled up all through this, but this side isn't. The back of our flag, instead of it being a flat piece, is actually a tile, or like not a flag, but a tile that's printed, but then it's open on the back. So there's some things that are just a little weird. I like this window. This window seems legit. It feels like it's actually set into place. It doesn't have any random stuff. This feels random. It feels very, very random. As a matter of fact, when I was thinking about like what I would change, this whole thing is getting changed. And I'm looking at how to A, strengthen the windows, B, make it look more uniform, and make it look more like better. A few other things. Like, we're not done. This window holds up pretty good. It's all reinforced. It works really well. This window and this window on this side, good. Top ones, good. In here, this is where we start getting a problem. So if you look, There's nothing holding that window in. And it could have easily been that we took one stud out of each one of these, ran it through the bottom here, and then moved a few things around. Simple. Simple. And we could have even done it up here instead of having a clear piece, one piece right here, and just move your studs around. There's a few build techniques in here that just they're kind of weird. This doesn't work for me. We have a light set in here where these are like dangling lights, but they look more like fly traps. Some of this stuff is getting removed. Honestly, for a build for my city, some of this just it doesn't work. There's also other questionable things like the fact we got the plants, they're cute, they're whatever. We got this sign here and signs on the side. Why? Signs should be up front. We're at the front door, we should be able to see it. Signs should be up here. There's a few things that's just odd. When you get to the roof area, we've got some build issues here where I actually turned this around because this was being held together by this up here. So I actually went ahead and modded that in order for it to work correctly. Now that fits there. It works, not too bad. But this does tend to pop off. Here, let me tilt it up just a little bit. It tends to pop off. These tilt plates on there are not exactly the best thing. They're not the best friend for your Lego build. They work if you need articulation, things like that. But holding on roofs, I'm not quite so sure. Same with this one. Look, already out the door. There's nothing reinforcing that because of the way they put it together. This should have had a plate underneath it. Now, I'm probably going to end up eventually taking these off, taking the kickers off the back, actually probably just putting a brick or a couple of plates in there, and then using wedges underneath here in order to just set the roof in. Because for me, I don't need it. I don't need it, how do I put it? I don't need it where it's like rocking and everything. I want to be able to take this off, get inside, much like the cheese farm, and deal with it that way. You can't do that. There's lots of things on this that are great, that beautiful build overall. It's a nice build, and I like the idea of a pet bookstore, but there again are things that just don't make sense to me. There's a few things like this printed brick here where you can barely see the cat and the book and all this. Honestly, there's a part of me that feels like I should pull all of these off, take them off, and just make this a pet hospital. And find a way to set up some medical equipment, things like that in there. I know Timu's got a bunch of lab medical stuff. Just make this a pet hospital, put in a few cages, put the cats in cages, and kind of move on from there. Because to me, it seems a little odd that it's a pet bookstore, I get, but it's also, I don't know. It's just, it seems like it would work, but it also doesn't feel like it works in the correct way. It's something I'm really looking at. How do I want to mod the inside? If I want to keep it a bookstore, how do I want to mod the inside? That means I might pull from one of the other sets and do like a coffee area in there. This area right here, perfect area for coffee. Take out the table, reinforce the floors, change some things that make it work. It could continue being a pet bookstore. I'm fine with that, but it needs to feel more like a bookstore. As right now, it feels like a library. There's no register. There's no checkout. It's just books and cats. I don't know. I've never been to a pet bookstore that never had a register in it. And I in San Diego there was one I went to all the time that, they had cats and stuff, but they also had a register, they had a place to check out, and they had an area for coffee as well. So these are things that I'm probably going to change, mod, and correct. As well as probably tile this roof because I don't actually like the roof. That's actually upside down. That's supposed to go this way. I don't like the look of the roof. I don't know. Sometimes when we get studded roofs, they're kind of boring for me. So these flowers all over the place, they're nice. But, again, don't necessarily make sense. I like personally for me, if I'm doing a city thing, I like having potted plants, things like that, things that make sits. Kind of like with the Sheffield house, all the plants on it were potted. The plants that are on the side, I'm going to take them off. Why? Because we don't need them. They don't make sense. There's no point in them. All in all, I would say, okay, so let me talk about this for a minute, okay? All in all, it's not a bad set. If you're spending 20 bucks on this, the bricks themselves fairly tight. They hold really well. The build is interesting. There's times when I questioned if it was going to hold up. They don't really give you explanation of how many or count out your plates at times. So there was one time where I used a 2x8 instead of a 2x10. Had to go back and reset it and refix it because the 2x8 I needed later. So there are things in there that's like, kind of questionable. The wire for the kit, they actually have it to where they don't wrap the wire. I actually ended up wrapping my wire because I didn't want a big wire just dangling around. So those are things that I changed for me personally. It doesn't really feel like a young person build, but it could be something that if you want to build with your kid, to build something on, to have like a pet bookstore. This works really well with friends. The friends scale really well. It can work well with the regular Lego minifig build, but there's going to be some alterations you want to make. Even though it's size for a regular Lego minifig, the interior is size for essentially a Friends, which is just a tad bit bigger. But they do change the way that the build is set up for that. Um, you know, I like the set. It's a pretty set. It'll be a very nice set down the road. But it does have some build issues. So if you're deciding to get this, even at 20, I would say it's worth it because it's still relatively cheap. I think they normally run at 30. That might be pushing it just a little bit. 30 is still for what you're getting at 600 and something bricks. What is it? It is 640 pieces. So, I mean, there's some quality stuff in there. It's not bad. Still at $30, not bad. But keep in mind, there might be some things that you're going to want to rebuild because it is not as sturdy as we'd want. Now, that's all I got to say about the Forange block pet store. It's an Amazon thing, okay? If I can, I'll put the link for it for the shop for it down in my show notes. So if you really want to get one, just get it from me. It helps out. It really does. I mean, that's all I got to say about that one. It's a cool build. It's not too bad, but there are definitely some changes for me personally that I really want to make. There's some structural changes that need to be fixed. It this is not complete for me just yet. I will be taking this to the table, and we got to get some things worked out on it. That's all I got to say about it. And thank you all for showing up and seeing my face talking about blocks and toys. I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? Good luck with the build, especially with this one if you get it, and happy brick hunting. I'll see you later.